But also just him being in like outside of the venue in the middle of the casino, just playing his AP is just so sick.
Imagine being that one person that's like hitting the slots and then all of a sudden Buddy just comes on and you're like...
That's good viral marketing though for anyone, right?
Yeah,
just 100%.
in general.
Yeah. Maybe last year we talked about what would be the first EDM show and when would we see it at Sphere? And I think we were all wrong. I don't think any of us expected Anyma to be this year, especially New Year's.
We kind of guessed like Anyma was going to be the show, but we didn't know when. When you get to a certain point in your career, you're basically hosting your own party.
Kind of sounds like a Millennium. Isn't it Millennium?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Look at, I know so much stuff about stuff.
So much stuff.
It's essentially the same thing. It's their curated. It's like their festival, but they're gonna play like 3 sets.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the BnB Hurts Podcast, where we talk about all things EDM. Thanks for tuning in this week. This week we're gonna do a little news recap for the fall and also stuff that has excited for 2025. But we have a guest on today too. We have Cathrine.
Hi.
Cathrine, you want to talk a little about yourself?
Sure, yeah. I'm 34, turning 35 soon. I'm a lawyer.
Veteran?
Yeah. I've been raving, oh my gosh, 10 plus years. Pretty solely in trance, but within the last couple of years, started getting into techno because of Claudia.
Wait, are you me?
She's the female version.
Oh,
although you can take your bass. But yeah, I've started slowing down a lot. My body isn't what it used to be.
Back and body hurts. Is that right?
Have you listened to our recovery episode?
Yes. So that's me.
Oh, nice. So I'll just introduce everyone else on the panel. I'm your host for this week, Sunny. To my right is Benny.
Hello.
And to my far right is Claudia.
Hey.
And she is branding the Nobody Listens to Techno shirt.
I know, at sublabel.
So yeah, we're going to talk about news and what has excited for 2025. But I guess we'll start off with one of the recent events that was pretty big for Toronto, which was Zamna coming to Toronto. This was like hype for like months too.
It was.
It really, really was. I remember like seeing, going on TRC and like seeing all the production stuff. And I was just like, okay, this is going to be big.
Yeah. It was run by like a relatively new company. I know there was a lot of partnerships and people were skeptical. It's like, yo, is this actually real?
Was it overhyped though, do you think? Because ultimately the day of, everybody was selling their tickets.
I thought it was more skeptical. People were more skeptical.
Yeah.
Is this actually going to be good? Because it was Identity Presents was the company that kind of ran it, which I didn't know too much about it, but there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff where people are involved.
For sure.
And there was reassurance from the people who do more melodic techno and more house saying like, it's going to be good. Mm-hmm. So people were skeptical. I think people bought into it. It started like 150, I think, for tier 1.
I think for the price, it was not bad.
Was that for 2 days?
That was for 2 days, 150.
Okay.
But we didn't know the lineup. So it was kind of like that blind faith thing. But it's like blind faith, but what are we actually going to get? And then I remember when the teaser dropped, it was Mark's Presents We Don't Follow, which was like really good. Like to get like him, and then I think it was Mathame and Adriatic on the teaser. And then when the final lineup came off, I think that's when everyone started fire selling, because I'll be honest, but for me personally too, it wasn't the greatest.
Well, what's the difference between his We Don't Follow set in comparison?
So just like how Anyma has his Genesis project, this is Mark's solo project. So he's released like songs on it. It's like a more live percussion. I think if you look at the videos, we'll have some videos up. He had like full keyboard setups. He had like he was making beats, I think, while he was doing his set with this song. So I heard a lot of good things about his set because I didn't go day 2, but I went day 1.
Is it sort of like Stephen Bo? What's that?
Stephen Boz. Not, I think a little bit like that, where he does his live sets. It's similar to that. But
was it packed?
No, it wasn't packed. But the process to get in and to get your ticket was probably the worst I've experienced all year. It was pretty bad.
Why was it? Like, what was your experience?
So it was for those of you who don't know, it was at the International Center, which we haven't had an event there in a while, I would
Where
say.
is that?
I was gonna ask
Is
where
that-
that is.
So it is technically Mississauga. It's right by the airport.
Oh,
I remember
that
you
is
saying
a
you were, like, right
mission.
next
I was like, yo, this is amazing. For me, if
For
everyone
you.
knows, any venue, casino, International Center, West Side, 10-minute
It's
drive.
at the
I'm
Enercare
good.
Center, right?
No, it wasn't at Enercare Center. It
Wait,
was at
what?
Enercare
International
is
Center.
like down in
Oh.
Liberty.
Enercare
Interesting.
is now in,
At Liberty.
Coca-Cola.
Okay.
No.
Enercare Center is now Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola
It's its own
Stadium is-
entity.
Huh?
It's its own entity.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's still the entire facility still. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay. But it's near Mississauga essentially. So it's
Okay.
right by the airport.
Okay.
But it was cold that day. I went with Yukern. So I waited for him. Mistake. Show up early next time, Yukern. Because I waited for him. I'm like, okay, I'll wait for him. We went to the line. It was like we got into the line at 11 o'clock. We didn't get into the actual venue until like 12:40.
As if you
That's-
did
And
not wait for an hour 40
It
minutes.
was so cold too. And like, I was like, do I coat check? Do I not coat check? No, I brought my coat because I'm like, I won't coat check until it snows. That's usually
Yeah.
my rule of thumb. But
Why was there such a holdup?
just, I guess the way everyone had to get their wristbands, couldn't let too many people in. I guess though, just the way things were running, like security too, like people were cutting in line. So everyone showed up at like 11, which was one other problem because Mathame and Adriatic were the highlights, and Mathame started at 12:30. So people were thinking, oh, I'll show up at like 11, get in. And it took so long. So a lot of people showed up at 11. It started at 8. It took us like 40 minutes outside. Then
Bananas.
security was like small. So like security didn't have a lineup. It was just kind of there. But then once we got in to get our wristband, there was like a lineup for wristband, like multiple lines. You didn't even know where you're standing. All this time I had to pee.
Oh, that is the worst.
So I'm playing like a mental game. At one point we met someone in line and we were just talking. I'm like, all right, I cannot say any more words because I need to focus on not pissing my pants. And for like another 30 minutes, I was in pure silence.
So were they giving you wristbands though for like a 2-day pass or just a 1-day pass?
So
Because like they could have.
It was
They
like a
could've
hospital
sent it.
bracelet. That's what it was
They
too.
could've- is it like a Coda bracelet?
No, not even a Coda bracelet. It was literally like a hospital bracelet with a clip.
So side note about Coda bracelet, wristbands, whatever. I've kept all of mine. So I have like
You do?
We're ready to infiltrate Coda at any time.
I wanted to
What's
do
the
some, like,
color for tonight?
yeah, just go in my pile.
You know what you should do after every event? You write the name of the event on
Oh,
that.
that's
wristband.
smart.
Oh,
I should have done
that's so
that.
cute.
Okay.
That's like
Pro-
last year.
Pro tip.
I started doing that and then I got lazy and I stopped. I just do it in
no.
trade.
You started doing that?
That's
I
actually
did it
a really good
I
idea.
did it
Wait,
like
but
twice.
isn't the Coda wristband the one where you rip off?
Yeah,
like-
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
but
why
you
write
just
it
slide
on
it
there.
off.
No,
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 you
no,
can-
no.
no,
You
but
just
no,
rip-
she
rip it
rips
off,
it.
and then you just write your name, write the event
That's
on there.
smart.
That's
That's
actually
so
really
smart.
Yeah.
My garbage has
I
a
have
lot
to
of
thank you.
My garbage has a lot of Coda bracelets over the years.
Yeah.
Interesting tip, but we don't know if it'll actually work.
So it wasn't packed inside.
Honestly, once you got inside, fantastic.
And how was the production? Like Zamna, you think like Zamna Tulum, like Claudia and I have been there. Like how was the production in Toronto?
Is it bad if I say it was good for Toronto standards? Which is pretty
Well,
They had lasers. It was pretty good. They had
they had
Lasers.
They had
lasers.
they had
Main
fake
bar.
plants behind it. You had that crowd behind it. It's once you got in terms of an actual event, it was pretty good. Like I was easy to move out. I heard bar situation was terrible. So
I
once
heard the
again-
bar situation was horrible.
Yeah, so like
Horrible. They had to get more people the second day.
yeah, so everything that was wrong on day one. So like as we're going back in line, we had to wait to get our wristband. Then there was a coat check line after you get in. Then I had to wait for the bathroom to get in. I'm like dying. And then once I got in, it was pretty good. Like in terms of production, in terms of sound, the sound was really good. In terms of the Zamna aesthetics, I mean, I saw fake plants. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like
Maybe
I'm just
they
like,
weren't fake.
they had the thing is they had also like the Zamna, like the VIP section, which I heard was pretty good. They had people behind the booths, enough space in the crowd. Bar situation was terrible from what I heard. All that kind of left like TRC went absolutely ballistics on that.
Yeah.
People were like reporting it. Everything I heard was fixed on day 2, which one thing that helped was people had their wristband.
Yeah.
So I wasn't gonna go day 2. And then I sold my because I think we went 9 times 9 that day.
Yeah.
Right. But the whole like hospital bracelet they gave us, I'm like, I need to figure out, like, I ended up putting on the least one, and the guy I sold it to was there, so I found it and I just slipped it to him. So it kind of worked out in my favor.
Was it true that they increased the prices for drinks on the second day?
I don't know if that's 100. I heard that was true. Like they increased the drinks and water price to like $8. But I don't know if it's
Interesting.
Pretty scummy, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, we went to Zamna and Tulum.
If you guys know, put it in the comments.
yeah. If you know, put it in the comments.
We went to Zamna and Tulum. It was unreal experience.
Yeah, the production
Unreal.
was
The production was. I mean, we were in
incredible.
a jungle basically.
Yeah, it was really cool. We're in a jungle. There was
Fake plants or no?
No, the
real plants.
Okay.
the amount of times I almost tripped over roots.
Was
then
this,
you had-
is it like a sandy beach or is it actually
It's
like
not a sandy beach. It's
like
a
jungle.
jungle.
It's actual jungle.
It's an
Okay,
actual
okay.
jungle.
Yeah, they had performers like dancing in the crowd and like these men on stilts and like this. It was unreal.
Unreal, yeah. Completely different, I'm assuming, than what Toronto was.
Fake
But
plants.
like, we had the real plants. We had palm trees.
But everything I just mentioned about day 1 was fixed day 2.
Yeah.
So kudos to them. Once again, it's
Yeah.
a learning
You
experience.
live and you
Yeah.
learn. You live and
And I've heard Zamna's coming back next year.
yes, they are. They're
So
coming back
honestly, for
2025.
Toronto, I mean, I
It's
can't.
huge.
Why are people complaining at
Yeah.
this point, right? It's coming
Yeah.
back next year. They tried it. They learned from mistakes. Day 2 apparently was really smooth. Good lineup, good
Yeah.
production. So excited.
I wonder
for
who's going to
2025.
come next year.
Artbat, please come on.
I haven't seen Arpat yet.
I literally,
want to see
I
Arpat.
keep mentioning this. The last time Artbat was here, they played Vertigo at like.
Yeah, I was
At,
not
like,
gonna
5
go to that.
a.m.
And
I'm
I
definitely
remember
not
I
gonna
went
go
to
that.
Brickworks. I sat in my car. I went for food with a friend. I sat in my car for like 40 minutes debating if I wanted to line up at Vertigo to see Artbat. And I went home.
Oh,
And I went home.
regrets.
I saw Artbat earlier this year and during Igloo Fest, like
Okay.
at New City Gas. That weekend worked out perfectly. It was like Eric Prids, then it was Artbat as the AP, like somehow. Then the next day was Lane 8, and then it was Mathame 8th AV set. So it was like perfect weekend for that. So I did see Artbat,
Well
and that's pretty
done.
good. Yeah. Next thing was Boris playing Casino AP, or Boris just playing in general. It's in Toronto, which people have been like
People
an
have
actual
been
curated.
dying for Boris in Toronto.
Because the last show was at
Dying.
EI, I think 2 years ago. It was on the September EI. Might have been longer than that.
No,
No,
definitely longer.
it was
than
definitely
Yeah.
longer
Definitely
than that
longer
because
than
I
that.
don't remember that.
Was it
I would have
pre-pandemic?
remembered.
Yeah,
It was might
It
have
was
been
definitely
pre-pandemic.
pre-pandemic
Holy
for
shit.
sure.
So like to know, I remember the rumors came out saying Boris is booked September or whatever, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that's a huge name. Huge.
and it was actually his like curated Boris show too,
Yeah,
which was like
yeah.
really good.
Did
Sucks
anyone
for-
go? No, I think
No,
not.
none of us
I had
Like, oh, yeah.
tickets. I had
Yeah, yeah.
tickets. I
We
had
know about
tickets.
the event, but
I
none of
had
us went.
tickets. And then when he pinned on his Instagram the fact that he did casino at casino, I was like, no, I might as well. Pass
So I
away.
had tickets because
Same.
my
I think
original
we all had tickets.
but my original plan, because casino's a new venue for us, and the only time I've been there was for Excision, and he ended at 12. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he might end at 12.
Yeah.
No, turns out apparently casino can go till past 2 a.m.
But also just him being in like outside of the venue in the middle of the casino, just playing his AP is just so sick.
Imagine being that one person that's like hitting the slots, and then all of
Yeah,
a
you
sudden Buddy just comes on, and you're like,
that's good viral marketing though
Huh?
for anyone, right?
Yeah,
Just in general.
100%.
yeah.
But so like that was my original plan, but then I saw the set times come up, like I gotta sell my ticket because I wanted to go 9 times 9, which happened the same night. So my original plan was, oh, it'll be done by 12. I'll go to 9 times 9, a full night. Didn't happen. But him playing in the casino, just the videos you see, absolutely insane.
Insane. That's probably like my biggest regret to this day. I'm not gonna lie.
For this year?
Yeah,
Or-
for this year.
Okay, for this year.
Maybe for my life.
That's a big regret.
That's a pretty big.
Let's get dramatic.
We'll put a video in the video.
Yeah.
Put the video in the
At
video.
Boris.
Because he does nice recaps. If anyone's ever seen, he does
He
nice.
such good vlogs and everything. Like his vlogs are perfect. I don't know if like even his reels and everything. Like he does such a good job recapping and just being so in the moment and just so happy. So
Yeah. Another thing is that we're getting a lot more casino shows, which has me excited.
Yeah.
Because one, as I mentioned, 10 minutes away. I can literally go. The funny thing is that if it's a Friday,
free at your place, huh?
Yeah.
a little bit off. A little bit off.
He's like,
But,
no.
but no. My thing is that if it's a Friday show, I literally will just show up to work later, and go straight there.
But we're asking about the pre.
Yeah, but I'm going straight from work.
Work parking lot pre. That's
Parking
always
lot pre.
parking lot
Yeah, we're gonna
pre.
go to Tim Hortons. Tim
Free
Hortons
parking.
pre.
Oh, you know,
free parking.
yo, do you know you can pre at convenience stores now? You can buy beers
Yes.
in the
Yeah, you
convenience store
can.
and then drink it
So
in the
we should
convenience
just go
store.
to like the parking lot and just
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
it back to like our high school days.
Yeah.
Parking
The
lot
convenience
pre's are
store
back.
pre.
Don't drink and
Convenience store
drive,
pre.
friends. Don't drink and drive.
Casino parking lot's pretty huge too, so you can have a pretty massive pre. Invite everyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send a Facebook invite out to everyone.
Bring some tables like the Bills. Go Bills.
Yeah, seriously, right?
Bills Mafia, go. But yeah, like next year we have Elderbrook, we have Zed's Dead and Slander doing 2 shows. Zed's doing 2 shows. Honestly, just great to see more.
Have you guys ever seen an Elderbrook set?
No.
I've always wanted to go, but I just never end
I've
up.
never really had the opportunity to see.
Yeah. It feels like
he doesn't really
he's-
come here or anything, right?
He was actually at Veld.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I saw Eric Pritz at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. I went to see Eric Pritz at that
Very
time.
popular. Even the support lineups, Lil Youth and Masane.
Mhm.
So like really like that's a really good. Masane was just here on Friday, so he's already coming back for that lineup. So that's pretty good.
He comes back pretty frequently, actually.
Yeah.
Elderbrook.
But last time I think it was History that he played. But I didn't go to that. I didn't go to that
I
show.
didn't go to that either.
Like he's someone that you like his music, but you just wouldn't go out of your way to go. Like if he's around the area
Mhm.
and you're like he's there, then you'll go.
You
That's
know-
what
you
it
know
feels
how I
like for
justify
me.
him? For me, it's the cost. I'm just like, I don't think I'll pay that much to see Elderbrook. But if it was like $40, I'm like, oh, I'll go check it out. Especially I can go right after work.
So no pre-party.
No pre-party. Parking lot pre. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what the second half is. So far, it's already pretty good for what Casino's bringing. Venue's great. I'm surprised Gareth Emery wasn't there
Yeah, I agree.
because I know that Rebel should do the
Oh, yes.
You
Did
did?
I ever? It was the worst experience of my life. It was horrible. I just wanted to go home and you couldn't move and it was just
So
brutal.
it was nice that we got Laser City.
Yep.
But yeah, that's
Are you gonna go again?
no.
That answer was super
Honestly,
quick.
aside from the lasers and the lights and the crowd aside, like the music, the set to me was mediocre. And so,
I expected that.
yeah. So I'm
For
not going
me,
to
I-
It's more of a show than there's like there's sets and then there's a show. It's more of a show.
So I know he got huge. He even mentioned the comment that it was not
it was too packed or something.
it was
right?
not too. He had some like not regrets, but it's more like he took everyone's feedback, and then when this tour is now, it's like no rebel,
Yeah.
and he didn't do rebel. So kudos to Inc for listening to that feedback too, and they booked Coca-Cola Coliseum, which we haven't had an event there in a while. In fact, the last event I went to there was actually Excision before the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, 2019.
Isn't that where like the Marleys play?
Yeah, the Marleys
That's
play
where,
there.
yeah, that's where the Marleys play.
So
Taylor Swift were there on the other couple weeks ago.
which one?
Taylor Swift.
No, but that was at Rogers Center. That was at Rogers Center.
That was Roger Center.
Bro, Gareth
Was
Emery
it?
playing the same venue as
As if Gareth Emery's been the same as
the
Taylor
show's not even sold out. But
Good try. Good try.
but I was surprised it wouldn't be at Casino. But I know we've talked about this with like some partnerships in Toronto. I know it's a Live Nation venue is what we call it. So I know Embrace has Live Nation ties and Inc doesn't. So they book in their own realm. But Excision was the last show there that I went to, and honestly, the lasers there were fucking pretty good. I still have videos on my phone, like a separate folder for that show of how good it was.
Lasers.
I love me some good lasers.
But yeah, the set that just touching on that Rebel one, I literally I went both days. And I went the second day to actually try and watch the show. And then day one, I was just a glorified hangout is what I called it. Yeah. I just was there chilling at the back. My one friend wanted to go front. I went with him a little bit. Crowd, I couldn't even get past the crowd. I'm like, nope, I'm going back.
Yeah.
And I literally went upstairs. Luckily, I knew someone with a booth and just kind of chilled off to the side. But it wasn't the same seeing it in the booth as on the floor. Mm-hmm. When I went now the big problem for those of you unaware is they put the production setup right in the center of Rebel, and the show was sold out. So maybe they oversold it. They probably did oversold it.
They definitely did.
But you only had 2 areas where you could funnel to get to a good spot to see. Because another problem with Rebel is you have the balcony covering half of the thing. On day 2, we made sure to be in front of that production booth. But even then, it was so busy.
Was it still? I heard day 2 was better though.
It was better because we got there. It was busy. We can move around a little bit. But unfortunately, I did see someone pass out, which we helped out.
God.
Like if you're small and you're being, I mean, it's just unfortunate because that was the big concern is just a crushing environment. Mm-hmm. But literally 20 minutes into a set, I had space. It was fantastic. I was literally right in front of the production booth and I saw everything I wanted to see and I went for $20.
Yeah, I mean,
people were fire selling. People were fire selling tickets, which was like great. So I'm surprised it wasn't at casino, but I said I'm not going. The reason why is because the prices are kind of high for that show.
Are they still over like $100 or 80?
So the floors sold out, I think. I don't know if they fully sold out, but it was like over 100. It was like almost 150.
Yeah, the prices are crazy. Laser City in Detroit, tickets are like $45. And like, yes, that's USD, but like
still,
it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
We pay a lot here.
Yeah.
But people also
buy them.
Well, because it's a FOMO thing, right? Unfortunately.
It's a FOMO thing, but like I always ask what recession. Because people are spending like crazy for resale things. I saw a guy recently. But
that's the reason that our tickets are so high is because everyone's willing to pay the price.
I saw a guy recently, Max Styler tickets for January. Like Max Styler
sold
out.
Yeah, we're going.
For Coda.
Are we?
Yeah. Are you not? Surprise.
Oh, is this for, yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm going to Houston the next day.
Okay.
So Max Styler tickets. I saw some guy literally post, I'm going to break the market and I'm willing to buy $150 Max Styler tickets for $150.
See, that's a problem.
But those tickets cost $33.
That's the problem. And the resale, and like the thing is with Toronto, everyone gets FOMO. And if you have FOMO, you're willing to pay. And like I've done this before. Like if you're going to pay $100 for a $50 ticket, I will do it because I'm scared of not going to see a certain DJ.
And we've mentioned this too. This is why the resale market exists in Toronto, because even like us, it's like, oh, I'm going to buy this ticket because I'm going to buy it quick right away. And if I don't go,
I'll just sell it.
And I'm just going to go based on market. I might make $20 for not going to an event.
Yeah. Which is so unfortunate, honestly. Like
it's bad, but essentially that's kind of what's happened with. And then sometimes you have fire sales like Gareth Emery, which I saw. But what do you guys think about the state of, I guess, how events were this year in Toronto? Did you guys like them?
I think at the start of the year, it was a lot more busy and people were more willing to go out. But I think nowadays, like, it's sort of dying.
Are you sure? Loud Luxury sold out apparently on Saturday. And it was
actually?
It was negative 25 degrees.
Yeah,
last night.
Wasn't that in like Calgary or something?
No, last night. Last night as the recording of this episode.
Okay.
So.
But it also might be due to the fact that my music taste is so on one side, and I don't really get that.
We know
in Toronto. That's why I don't go out that much. But
Benny was born in the darkness. That's what we call it.
Benny,
but that's also true for me too. I like trance.
You're a trance head, right?
Yeah, and trance is dead.
It's a saying that we have. It's a saying that we have unfortunately said. I was just mentioning how Marcus. I went to Marcus on Friday, and he pretty much just played techno, and I'm just like trance when.
Nobody listens to techno.
Or like
but I want trance. I can go to a techno event for techno.
Techno.
Right?
If you're an event organizer, do you think it's harder now to get people to come out?
Well, Chris mentioned that he said that's one of the biggest factors is that there's some fatigue in the industry for people coming out to your event. Another problem is that you just don't want to overlap. Another problem that like pisses people off is when you have like 3 events the same night, they're all the same genre.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to mention it. What's happening New Year's? Why do you have Chris Avantgarde? And then I think across the street is another melodic techno
But
artist.
the thing is with New Year's Eve, it's definitely going to sell out because people want to go out for that specific event day.
But I'm just saying, why are you splitting like it's Omnia, OMYMNA. So literally across the street is Chris Avantgarde, Queen Elizabeth Center, and then at what is it? What's that venue we went to? Where we saw Masane.
Yes.
Where we saw Masano?
Masano. I'm drawing a blank.
That's it's right across from the. Oh my god!
Why can't I?
I know. I'm really drawing a blank.
It's right across from where they go jousting and just.
The Grand Bazaar? Is that the Grand Bazaar?
Grand Bazaar.
And this guy doesn't even go to that. But yeah, like Grand Bazaar. So like, I'm just like, bro, why are you guys doing the same genre right across from each other? I'm like, just
because one event can't fill all the attendees. Like it's gonna reach cap for sure on New Year's Eve.
I agree, and I genuinely think that the scene is sort of dying because the people that go to these events are people, of our age, and younger people are not going. Do you not
to
think
those
so?
ones? Okay, but there's also the crowd demographic because you guys aren't bass heads.
No.
In the bass scene, everyone's
they young?
they're young.
Yeah.
They're young.
Yeah, I guess.
They're young. Like this ISO
an
Knock
acquired
2's
taste.
coming. I'm picturing everyone's going to be university kids. Like everyone's going to be university kids. Because when I went to the one in...
I'm clearly so old.
I know. I had the same reaction.
Because when I went to the one... When I went to the one in... I was mentioning before. When I went to the one in LA... They give 21 wristbands, and me and my one buddy are looking. I'm like, bro, half these people aren't even wearing wristbands right now. So they're like 19-year-olds because you need them to be 18 to get into the venue. And we're looking around like half these people aren't wearing wristbands. I'm like, what the hell?
I understand your point on a regular, like not event day, but on a event day like such a big event like New Year's Eve, I think is going to be packed.
I think people want to go out. So
Yeah.
I think that's one basis where you can run both events.
Yeah.
I just don't like it makes me choose because they're both the same genre, right? So it's kind of like.
Well, at the end of the day, it's better for the consumers because it's cheaper, right? And there's more competition.
Is it cheaper though?
It should be cheaper. That's in theory how it works. Because
have you seen what people pay in Toronto?
Well, it really depends on the caliber of each artist.
Yeah, I don't know the prices, but you probably have some like validity to that statement that it could be cheaper in that sense to bring them. Also, we like to piggyback off other cities because I feel like we're secondary.
Well, one reason why Boris wasn't like crazy aftermarket sale was because of 9x9.
Yes and no, because actually it was weird how the market went because it tanked a little bit. So Boris tickets were like $100,
Like $100.
120,
Yeah.
130.
Yeah.
It tanked a little, but people got FOMO at the end. So it actually tanked to like 100, and then the day of, more people were looking for tickets.
Yeah.
It always happens like
That's the trend lately.
a couple of hours before the event, it will start selling. But then you run the risk of having tickets that late.
Yeah,
for people that resell.
It's like what happened in 9x9. Remember our one friend? He literally had tickets.
Yeah, he was in the event, and he was like, "Yo, I'm still selling tickets." He has like 3 tickets. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
He did sell them. He sold them. I think he sold them for like cost too, but like he
That's
sold them
stressful.
at the.
Yeah, it's stressful. It's really stressful.
But as I said, the market's been interesting to look at in that
Yeah,
perspective.
for sure.
But one thing is, festival wise, I think we were okay this year. Nothing really changed, other
nothing
than
really changed.
we had that Sojourn Festival, which we talked about earlier, which is like more underground for Toronto. I don't know how familiar you guys are, but we had a recent one get announced for the bass community, which is from our the local company DNR. So they've been doing pretty good things in like this is totally your realm, right, Cathrine?
Of course.
She's like, I'm ready to
thrilled.
say
Let's
so
go.
much about this.
So we've had a hole since ever after, for everyone who knows, for a bass type of festival in Toronto. We mainly just have events. So DNR is now taking a chance. Still preliminary. This is literally announced like last week. It is in the middle of a field according to the coordinates in Brundon, Leiden, and Rolgan County, which I have no idea. All I know is it's somewhere west of Ottawa in some field. So we have people living there. It should be like one of those type of festivals. We're in the middle of nowhere, but honestly, it's good that we have a festival.
Is it a regular festival and non-camping?
It's probably gonna be camping based on where it is.
It has to be.
It has to be
camping.
camping.
Yeah. At this point, it
think so.
has to be.
They
camping.
secured a field. It's gonna be camping.
Well, I mean, I think it has to be in the middle of nowhere in a field because like
it's called Nowhere.
because of the base is just too
Whoa,
bassy.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
so if you ever after used to be in,
If I was living near a bass festival, oh my god.
I mean, but you hear about the noise complaints even for EI
Yes,
here.
yeah.
There's always a sound person
Yeah.
monitoring the sound. Unfortunately, wherever after the company who folded, I'll mention a bit about that. It wasn't Kitchener, and they had the same problems where there was literally residents across the river, is what we
Yeah.
called it, and they were always complaining. But it apparently brought like $15 million to the city just having that festival. So there's a trade off there, but sound bylaws
Yeah.
are pretty big in Ontario, which
Yeah.
unfortunately we pay for.
Different than Tomorrowland, where everyone
Doesn't give a shit.
accepts it.
It's part of the culture.
It's
to
also
have-
just Europe.
that's
That's
Europe
true.
in general.
Yeah.
It's part of the culture. But ever after with the whole, they tried to move to Barrie, where you guys know
They're just going to the most obscure places.
it's another field.
It's another field.
Well, no, you know where Boots and
Another
Hearts.
field.
Have you heard of Boots
Another
and
field.
Hearts?
Yeah,
Another
yeah,
field.
It's where Boots and Hearts was. So they tried to run it the week after, but apparently they didn't get permits like a couple weeks before. Had to cancel the entire thing. Then they
that sucks.
folded. People didn't get their money back. It was the entire thing. We haven't had a
Oh.
bass festival since. So this is nice to see DNR trying to push another bass festival. It might be small, it might be big. We don't know.
Bass is also really popular. Like my opinion of it aside, and you like
Yeah.
what you like it.
It's huge.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
huge.
It's so big in
Everybody-
North
yeah.
America.
It's huge.
And with the resurgence of drum and bass too, it's also being incorporated into it.
Well, the thing is with a bass festival, you don't really see them without camping. They're almost all of them have camping.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
staple in
true.
North America to have camping at
And
a bass
Yeah,
festival.
When you look at North America as like a landscape, I guess we have more open fields than we do. Actually, that might not be true in Europe. Like
Oh, for sure we do.
Yeah. A lot of it happens in Europe. It's like it's like warehouses and all that. But we have more open field than in North America. I feel that's why it's in middle of nowhere, and I think it's cheaper definitely to be in the middle of nowhere than it is to like rent
Yeah.
somewhere in
Yeah,
the
for
middle
sure.
of downtown.
I think it's also North Americans just love camping more. I was just going to baseline that.
Yeah.
They probably love camping more because a lot of the North American bass festival, almost everything is camping. I don't think there's
Yeah.
one that I know that's not camping. And it's a good experience. Watch our camping episode where we talk about all things you need for camping. But it's honestly a great experience because you never leave the festival vibe. Just like how we talked about Tomorrowland before.
Mhm.
It's like being at camp for you guys. You still in Tomorrowland. It's kind of nice, right?
Yeah. Well, it's completely different. And like, I know Benny can attest to this. Like being there camping, you're in the middle of it all. And I know it kind of sucks sometimes, but when you come back home, you're like, yes, thank God I didn't stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of stress away from the commute. Like
Yeah.
there is definitely an element of stress when you have to commute to your hotel or wherever you're staying.
Yeah, but also just like fun. Like you get to meet people. Like we managed to somehow be right next to each other.
We didn't-
Listen to our Tomorrowland podcast.
Yeah.
It's a good episode. Cathrine, have you camped for a festival?
I've been in an RV.
That sort of counts. Yeah.
That
for
It does
AIM in
not
Montreal.
count.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, no, I don't think I have.
We call it, you haven't done legit camping. You've done
Yeah,
camping.
yeah.
So there's different types of camping. There's an RV camping, and then there's the glamping.
And then there's
And
pitch
there's-
your own tent
Yeah,
camping.
That's legit camping. But yeah, I guess we'll move on to the next one. One of the big ones happening next week, Anyma show, but Sphere. This is his first full year actually like running. They're still operating at a loss, unfortunately. So apparently, like the reports came out, they're 125 million for the last quarter, and this year they've lost about 507 million. But I think what we've talked about is it's a long-term game.
It's definitely a long-term game.
Because it's hard to set up there. Like big shows this year were the Eagles residency. They had 28 shows, and I don't know if you guys seen videos. It looks beautiful inside.
It looks stunning.
I can only imagine what Anyma is going to be like in there.
It's
going to be insane.
I was actually, I think maybe last year, we talked about what would be the first EDM show and when would we see it at Sphere? And I think we were all wrong. I don't think any of us expected Anyma to be this year, especially New Year's.
We kind of guessed like Anyma was going to be the show, but we didn't know when.
Because it had to have something with visuals.
Yeah.
Like the visuals, it was either that or Eric Prydz.
Yeah.
Like, realistically.
Eric Prydz Excision. But I don't know if you can get that many bass heads into...
not bass heads, Eric Prydz.
although I have to say, the Excision show, I didn't go obviously, but I've seen videos. Like that Shrek guy, the visuals are just insane.
I had people who went to that show who aren't even bass heads one bit.
Me.
Just to go for the...
I
did though.
I totally forgot. This guy went just for the visuals. Honestly, why not?
I do enjoy a couple of songs.
But yeah,
funny.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what their long-term goal is.
Do you think they're gonna post it online?
No, there's no chance.
I don't even know how to figure a new camera policy. I'm pretty sure they will, because that's how you viral market it for something like the Sphere.
But you don't need a market.
But people want to see the video. Like, you have to. Once again, in our realm, because we all listen to EDM more, like seeing in the Eagles visuals, okay, yeah, cool. But seeing an EDM show inside the Sphere gets us more excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Lasers, visuals, everything.
And the lineups are
the lineup is really
like diverse every single day, which
fire.
is like really good. I know a couple people going. We'll definitely probably do a follow up with them on how it was, because I think it's a pretty big monumental moment for
for sure,
for EDM in general to have something like Sphere, and somehow they're opening a second Sphere in Abu Dhabi. I don't know how. I don't know where.
I think
in Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi. But yeah, I'm curious. Hopefully we'll see all the videos, and by the time this episode comes out, we'll probably have some videos to post on that too. Yeah. So next one would be one of the venues we've wanted to go to, Benny, me and you. Yeah. That we haven't.
I was actually gonna axe my Tomorrowland plans to go to ADE, to go to Gashauder.
I was planning to go to ADE next year too.
But still might have a chance. Just wait.
But we're going back to Tomorrowland instead, and that's not a disappointment. So they're doing a renovation. How long? Like 8 months?
So they said 9 months. So my thinking is that they said 2025. So I mean, if they're Canadian workers, it's doomed. It's not happening. It's not happening.
They're Dutch.
It's not happening. Look at.
We're looking 2 years, 3 years.
When's the Eglinton LRT supposed to be done?
It was supposed to be done like 3 years ago.
Yes. So if they're anything like Canadian workers, we're doomed. It's not happening. Don't go to AD next year. But they're starting in 2025. They say 9 months, and 9 months puts them right at the start of October.
Okay.
So AD is the biggest event for.
I've been dying to go to AD so much.
Me too. I think the biggest venue is definitely Gashauder there. Yeah. And I think Ziggo Dome is pretty big.
Ziggo Dome is where they do their showcase.
That's where ASOT was, no?
Used to be. ASOT used to be in Utrecht, which is
Utrecht, but who did Ziggo Dome then?
Awakening.
Pretty sure Armin.
I know Awakening.
I think Armin did. Armin
did. Isn't that where he does his ASOT?
That's what I thought.
Is it drum code?
No,
maybe it's drum code.
It's not Ziggo Dome.
It sounds so familiar.
I'm pretty sure it's not Ziggo Dome because it's
I know he does Utrecht. Yeah, maybe
I think he did his
over to
Armin only show there.
Oh, maybe.
But Eric Prydz has done his like a hollow show there.
Yeah. I've seen so many sets at Ziggo Dome. So I mean, on YouTube.
I was planning to go. So I'm going to Amsterdam for ASOT next February, and I was planning to stay a week and go to. There's a hard techno festival happening in Ziggo Dome, and I'm like, something happened at Gashauder the next day, so I can go. And now they're closing, so I'm like, I asked that plan.
But it's like me when I wanted to go to Printworks.
But for anyone who doesn't know, Gashauder, it's pretty much the legendary cylindrical. I like to call it like a cylindrical water tank.
It used to be a gas factory or gas plant or whatever.
Yeah. Makes sense by the name.
Yeah.
So what they're doing, from what I read, is that they're actually some of the facilities, because it was a gas tank, like some of the facilities are outside that run the building, so they're moving those inside downstairs, which will open up more spacing for other things.
For more partying.
Essentially.
Benny's ready to party.
So essentially they're building a basement is what I've been told. So I don't know what other details are involved in that, but I think it's just facility based, just to modernize the facility a bit more. Because it's a legendary venue. It has huge historical presence in Amsterdam.
It's literally right in the middle of Amsterdam.
It's crazy how close it is.
It's crazy.
Man, Amsterdam. Just move to Europe.
Right? I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
Let's just
Pitch
go.
a tent. Let's pitch a tent.
Next time you're going to be seeing us, it's going to be in Europe.
Campfire podcast. So yeah, we'll hopefully it's open for ADE, but that essentially acts my plan too.
Yeah,
if it's
that's-
not, so it might be a YOLO open. Let's go. Another one that's having a revamp is Brooklyn Mirage, which we don't know too much about.
No.
No.
So
I've never been.
there's been a
Never
new
been in
CEO.
Brooklyn Mirage? Interesting.
No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
No, interesting.
Yeah.
So that's where this podcast started.
At the Brooklyn Mirage.
At the Brooklyn Mirage.
I pitched the
No
idea to
way.
Sana.
At 2 a.m. in the morning.
Classic. That's
It's
when
the
all
random
the
kitchen.
that's when all the good ideas
with
come
no
about.
sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's heard a lot of people have heard the story of what happened, but yes, with no sleep at 2 a.m. in the morning, Benny pitched me the podcast.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Wait, 2 years later? Year?
Calculate.
It was
We're at a year and a half.
Yeah.
We're at a year and a half.
Almost 2.
We are at our 1 year anniversary, so
Woo.
We are.
We are.
We actually are.
Congrats.
because we released 10 episodes all at once.
Yeah.
But we are here now. And we're bringing you more content. So you have a bit more info about the CEO, right?
Yes. His name is Josh Wyatt, I think. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. He went to Harvard Business School. He was a tenured CEO at Knowhere House. It's a social club. And he was a president at Equinox Hotel, something like that.
So he's been in the. I wouldn't even say he's been in the industry. He just has a lot of business.
Well, he has like social club and like entertainment.
Oh, so he has an entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So I think this change was, from what I read on the presser, it was him taking feedback from all the comments. There's been a lot of negative feedback with Brooklyn Mirage. It's being oversold. Dynamics not that good. Safety.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a lot of safety
One thing
issues.
I want to mention
know.
is he just came in October.
Yeah,
he
there
just
was,
came
I
out
know
though.
there was a lot of safety issues for like females
So
specifically.
Brooklyn Mirage is a season thing because they can't really operate in wintertime
Yeah.
unless it's indoors. So the actual Brooklyn Mirage venue is an open top. Rain or shine, you can run events. It starts in May. The first opening act is Sarah Landry,
Woo!
Which
Get it,
is-
girl? Sarah.
which she's opening her North American debut of Eternalism, which I know nothing about. It's just some production thing that she's doing, but kudos to her. She first like opening as a hard
Yeah.
techno act, Brooklyn Mirage.
She was the first female hard techno on the main stage in Tomorrowland.
So
Thought he
dope.
was there.
I was there.
Yeah, honestly, just great for her. We'll mention her in a bit too. Just going back to Brooklyn Mirage. Yeah, we don't really know what they're doing. I'm pretty sure they're going to address some of the crowd concerns. I do remember the free ponchos though. That was
Yeah.
Just keep the free ponchos because that was clutch. I might steal your water.
Yeah, go for it.
I've been talking too much.
Um,
So I guess the next point is Sarah Landry. So wait, but before we move on to that, Avant-Gardner. So there's a lot of flack with Avant-Gardner because of the whole Izu fiasco. For those who don't know,
but people got refunded like 6 months.
people
later.
got refunded. Yo, but they didn't announce anything for like half a year.
Yeah.
So Izu, I think it was last year.
It was last year, one of the days or two of the days they didn't get the stage
And then
ready,
they had,
right?
like,
yeah.
People rushing the
Oh,
gates.
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I remember
They
that.
didn't release anything until I think July of this year. We're saying that they're refunding people.
You know what? At least they said something.
They
It's not-
did.
It's not like Fire Festival. You know
Kudos
what
to
I mean?
them.
Like,
Yeah,
it's not giving
yeah.
fire.
Kudos to them that they put the initiative to like offer refunds. I don't know how everyone is. Maybe put in the comments if you were one of those recipients, how it ended up, how smooth the process was. But they've been getting a lot of shit because it's like they're running Brooklyn Mirage. Apparently they're in the negative. They're still somehow getting money. Not saying money laundering is involved, but you never know. But this new CEO, the new direction, it's good. So I'm curious to see what they do with the venue. And Sarah Landry opening, great. So
Unreal.
moving to Sarah Landry, she just released a new TikTok video that's kind of gotten a lot of steam. something that resonates with a lot of female DJs out there, how they're an industry plant, they shouldn't deserve where they are. She nipped that all in the butt. Watch her TikTok video because she has grinded so hard to be where she is, and for her to hear that, kudos to her for sounding off on all those haters.
Yeah,
because I'll be honest, I'm not a personal fan of how mainstream she's gotten. Maybe because of like we're a bit more underground. Like I've watched her when she was starting to blow up, and then she's kind of gone more mainstream. But what she's doing for hard techno scene, she is the face of hard techno.
Yeah,
she is
100%.
Even if you don't listen to hard techno, you know who Sarah Landry is.
Like female or not, she's the face of hard techno.
And she goes through how she's learned to become an audio. She is a certified audio engineer. She's self-taught. She had obviously mentors, but she self-taught herself how to do a lot of this, which is like, she's been grinding for 11 years. So she's not an industry plant. She's just had a meteoric rise over the last year, which has been like fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it is. Like, people don't see your grind; they just see the end result, and that's always the case. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like it when people say that like she became mainstream. She's become mainstream because people now like that kind of music. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Right now, hard techno
right?
is
Like
in.
hard techno is in, and trance was maybe in like 10 years ago.
Okay, that's a shot. That's like a double.
Let's be real.
That's a double revolver right there.
I'm sorry, melodic techno is trance.
No, I didn't say melodic techno. I said trance. But just because she's become mainstream, people are shitting on her because of that, and that just kind of irks me in the wrong way.
And not to be feminist or anything, but of course, a female is an industry plant.
Yeah, of course.
There's always going to be haters for sure, but that's how
Brush
it
them
works.
off.
She's worked hard to be where she is. So
she
massive
has.
respect. And
Yeah.
I know there's all those videos of her boobs and all that stuff, but it's just like, you know what, like
But that's
you're
part of a
having
female
fun.
body too.
No,
like,
she's having fun.
Yeah.
Like, when you have a meteoric rise like that, why can't you have fun?
Yeah.
I love
And
the videos of her like drinking champagne and just
just dancing,
vibing. Yeah. And I'm sorry, it's hard techno. You have to.
Yeah.
There's only
things are gonna move.
Things are gonna move, yeah. But definitely take a look at her TikTok video. It is honestly like more power to her. I'm excited for her upcoming tour.
At Sarah.
Yeah, I'm excited for her upcoming tour because she'll be
Love
fantastic.
you, girl.
Yeah, one thing about for those who don't know in the video is that she was producing what we call drum code techno, which is like a staple. She's actually from Austin, Texas, so she had her big breaks in Austin, Texas. But then during COVID, when everything shut down, she actually had a Coachella gig, for those of you who didn't know, as like one of those smaller artists, to get her opportunity at Coachella right before the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit, and then she didn't have that. And then during the pandemic, she focused on hard techno because she liked the sound when she went to Europe. And she is where she is today.
Bless her soul.
So the next thing, Tomorrowland, the tickets just dropped.
Yeah, for pre-sale for everyone that went. So there was 2 pre-sales. There was an NFT pre-sale, and then there was the loyalty pre-sale.
Which is the first time I think they've done that, right?
Yeah, so what happened was, last year when my brother and I got the pre-sale, it was only the account holder.
Not you.
It was only the account.
You have a bad bag.
I already have a bad bag. Last year, the only person that was able to do the loyalty sale was the person that held the account. So that was me. So like we got our tickets through my account, whatever. This year they changed it, and so every single person that actually went to Tomorrowland got it, and I didn't know that. I was completely 10 sheets at the wind thinking
That's
about
why
that.
you were panicking. It's like I didn't get to renew my loyalty.
Yeah, so that's why I was freaking out, because like my friend David, he had to do shout out to David. He had to do my pre-sale for me, but I didn't realize that I'm gonna get it again next year because I'm attending.
Yeah. So we got 8 people into the pre-sale.
I don't know how you managed to do that.
Well, you booked and Yikern booked, right?
Yeah.
So you technically that's the total, right?
Yeah. So 2 of us booked 4 persons each. Yeah. And you're going as well, right?
I'm going to my first tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so excited. We really screwed up because we had Amsterdam bus with you guys. But then our card didn't go through, and then we ended up doing Dusseldorf round trip. So
It's fine. You're still going.
we'll still
We're
be
still
there.
gonna meet you
Still be
there.
there. Still be there.
It's gonna be a big one because there's like 12 of us going this time that I know of.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
including me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Wait. So you have 4?
No, I have 2.
You have 2.
Well, I have 2, and then I have another 2. Me and my friend Megan are going, and then another 2.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
we have
4.
8,
Yeah, so 12.
12. He has 6.
That's a big group.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know half the group.
Oh, okay.
So I got a proposal from a local friend. Shout out Ali. Friend, she's known through like ASOT and like just some of the trance scene, and he had an extra spot for Tomorrowland. So she asked me, and I'm just like,
Do you feel privileged?
I did feel privileged because I didn't have to do shit.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do shit. I literally just had to give
You're
my
like-
email and name, and he bought it. He joined the NFT. He got Montague. So we did get Montague package. We got the Dream Lodge.
Wait, what was his name?
That's a good question. I totally forget right now. You're asking on the spot. I've only talked to him in the chat, so I forget. I'll meet him at ASOT, so we'll go from there. But it pretty much everything kind of fell in my lap, so I agreed to it. I'm like, okay, I just have to e-transfer someone the money, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So he joined the queue. He got 3 because the NFT this year is 6, and then they reduced it to 2 next
They're
year.
reducing it to 4 next year, actually, not 2.
4?
It's 4.
Oh, it's 4.
It's 4.
So that's not that bad.
Yeah. So actually, I think they were able to do 8 this year.
8 this year.
I think 8 or 6.
I think it
and
was
then
6 because he
maybe 6, and then now they're reducing it to just 4.
Yeah, so his credit card took a hit, but he was able to buy 3 Dream Lodge Montagues for us, and then we're doing the Amsterdam bus ride
Because of the episode.
because of the episode. No, legit because of the episode. They all watched the episode. And it was recommended.
And they listened to me.
And they it's like, oh, we'll do the bus this time because the train takes too long, and
Yeah.
it's also
And you can't drink on the train too.
Yeah, you're allowed to drink anywhere in Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But the bus
I
was
was
so
told
much fun.
otherwise.
The bus was so much
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm my first Tomorrowland. I'm excited, especially going with these guys. So
I'll meet you at the cage.
yeah, I'll finally know where Benny dwells. I'll be like, all right, where am I going? Okay, I have nothing. Okay, I'll see Benny. At
You'll
the cage.
understand. You'll understand.
I'm excited for you guys. It'll
I'm
be fun.
so excited.
You've never
I'm
been,
so-
Cathrine?
No.
Any plans?
No.
I asked her several
unfortunately,
times.
Trance is dead at Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
I will,
And it's also
They did
it's-
have a trance stage the first time I went. They
It's
had
ultra
ASOT.
dead
It's
because
ultra-
they took away
ultra dead.
they took away the ASOD stage.
they
Yeah,
took away
they
ASOT
did.
stage, and they didn't have Anjuna Beats this year, from what I recall.
Did Armin play at Tomorrowland?
Yeah, but that's
yeah, but he's not.
But it was like a main
really
He's like not.
I was there for half of
But
it.
I've heard the one whenever he does ASOT, he does a like 3-hour set. I always say whenever Armin does his ASOT set, when he does a main stage set, like an Ultra Miami, when Armin does his main stage set, you skip the hell out of that set, and then
Yeah.
you go to the ASOT
ASOT,
set
yeah,
because he'll actually play trance.
Another reason why I'm not going is I think it's a couple weeks after Luminosity. So I'm
Yeah,
going
it's
to
hard.
Luminosity. And
He
so
did
it's
that this year too. That hurt as well.
Yeah.
He did Luminosity,
I
and
don't
then
know how he did that. At Yukern.
yeah, I don't know how he did that. Maybe he can fill us in on that.
You can do
That's
it
tough.
too. You just
I could
if
do
there's
it.
a way. There's
no.
a will.
No. But if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do DEF CON.
I mean,
Isn't that I
Same
think
weekend.
The same, yeah,
Same
yeah.
weekend. Because I had a friend who went 2 days Lumi and then 2 days DEF CON.
you would have.
Probably the same friend because I was just about to say
Oh,
that.
yeah, okay, the video he sent me at DEF CON was him zooming in and out when the beat was dropping. I'm like, oh yeah, that's sick. Looks so cool. But yeah, that's Tomorrowland. Should be good.
I'm
Global
so excited.
Journeys.
what's the theme this year?
It's called Orbiz, and it's fire.
Good thing you knew because I was gonna call it Abyss because I'm like, I don't remember what it's called.
No, it's ORBYZ, Orbiz, and it's fire and ice.
Reminds me.
There you
of,
go.
Just how we see it, how that turns out.
It's gonna be so good.
But yeah, Global Journeys, the next sale, the major sale to get like the
That's-
tickets.
That's
Yes,
for the
that's it.
regulars, the normies.
the
And
plebs,
then- and
the
then-
plebs.
And then Feb is surprisingly with pre-sale. The sale was actually really good for anyone who had it because I knew a lot, unless not Montague and all that stuff, but like if you wanted to do like spectacular camp, you could go and I had friends who did back out, but I was in Discord with them watching them make a decision on if they're gonna go or not, and they were at that thing, and spectacular tent was available for like 4 hours.
Yeah, it was really the process was really nice this time, at least for the pre-sale, because you can go in and like you can sort of just sit there and you don't have to really make a decision within 15 minutes or within like
Luxembourg.
Yeah. we picked the right time, right spot this time, so we don't need to go out the way.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah,
I'm excited.
that's
We're gonna
the
have a good time.
that'll be fun.
We're gonna have a good time.
A couple other lineup drops. We won't go into details. Maybe if anyone has any opinions on this, but we'll put the posters in the videos as we're mentioning it. But we've had the Coachella lineup drop.
Mhm.
We've had the Ultra Miami lineup drop. We've had the Electric Forest lineup drop. And we've had the Veld initial tease, which we'll probably have more opinions on. But anyone have anything to say about the other 3 lineups if you've seen them?
Coachella,
I mean, I've seen
Ultra,
them.
and E-Forest.
Yeah.
I've seen them and I want to go.
No opinion.
The Ultra lineup is sick.
Sick.
It is really good.
I'm not a
It's
fan
always
of Ultra
good,
though.
though.
I'm not a fan of Ultra though.
I'm
The crowd control is crazy.
Crowd
there.
control is insane. Like, it sucks.
I don't go to main stage, so I don't know.
I wasn't even main stage. It took me 2 hours to get from like the ASOT stage to like the backstage where like it was ridiculous.
If you're trying to meet up with your friends at main stage and you're at like ASOT, then yeah, it could take some time. It's pretty bad.
no, ASOT and like main stage is pretty close, but like
What do you mean the back? I'm confused.
where Camel Fat was playing like
This year or when?
No, it was like 20
Because they moved ASOT to the smaller stage.
2020, 2021.
Of course they did.
yeah.
Trans is dead.
And it got canceled because of rain this year, so no Armin set.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
debacle.
I saw all the stories. Maddox set was lit.
I think
though.
Maddox.
Maddox set was so lit.
Did you see my photo with Maddox?
Oh, the when?
EDC Orlando. I saw him at the airport.
Oh, yes. That's sick. Yeah, Maddox Meteoric Rise this year too for what he's had, which has been really good. Is he trance, techno? I don't know. It's all.
It's honestly all blending together.
I loved his classic
Honestly,
mashups. That's what got me hooked on that. He's remixing these trance classics into like techno trance. I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
But
techno and trance are sort of meshing.
That's why
into
we're
one.
friends.
And you can't really like trance DJs will play like Charlotte DeWitt or Kevin DeVries or like incorporate those techno artists into their set, and then techno artists, some of the songs that they play is trance. So the genres are very much blending together.
One of the most popular songs, Techno Is My Only Drug, released by technically a trance artist, but still David Forbes, shout out.
Yep.
Lit song. But yeah, like I would say the Ultra is always enticing for a lot of people because it's the
That's where all the DJs drop their new songs.
Yeah, that's
right?
why- that's why it's nice.
That's why it's huge.
We did an episode on Ultra Miami. Check it out. All the tips and tricks are there. Lineups are always good. So if you ever want to check it out, definitely you have to plan early. That's one of the tips we gave because it is
Some of the graphics on the episode are incorrect. Just want to let you know. If you
Some
go-
of them.
Some of them.
Whoopsie. Whoops.
just DM us if you have specific
Yeah,
tips.
just DM us if you have specific questions.
Veld initial teas. What do you guys think?
You know, every year I say this is the last Veld, and every
Every
next
year.
I end up going.
Did you buy tickets?
No,
Okay.
no. I'll probably get like some resale one day here, one day there. I don't know. We'll figure it
Well,
out.
we always call it the glorified hangout in
Yeah.
Toronto,
Yeah.
where all your friends just end up going, so you end up going. I don't even like going to Veld. I just end up going like, wow.
Do you know what's going to be really fun for you this year? You're going to finish Tomorrowland.
Straight
And then
to the Veld?
guess what?
You know, you could
guess what's happening that weekend.
Veld. Well, you know, I went to Teletech this year, which is the same weekend at. Okay, maybe you didn't know. I went to Teletech.
I didn't know. I'm like,
I went to Teletech the same weekend that Veld was here. Everyone's
What
like,
is
"You're
that?
It's it was like the hard techno.
Azer.
Huh? Yeah, he was
Azer?
there. He was
Yeah.
there. But it was pretty much one of the hard techno brands in Europe. Their main festivals in first week of August, same weekend as Veld. Everyone's like, "Are you going to Veld?" I'm like, "No, I'm in Europe right now."
That's a
Although
good
I will
choice.
have to
That's a
say-
good choice.
Dolla this year. Whew. Can't
Best
wait.
time.
Yeah, when he was
He
here
slapped.
this past summer. No, September.
It was for my birthday.
I don't know that.
September.
He was so dope, and his new song it's not released yet, but
Wait, is this the
He's on
Budweiser
the
show?
Veld lineup, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's on the Veld
Yep.
lineup.
Which is
Everyone
why
was
I
like,
will
maybe they're
probably
gonna do
be
that.
going.
They're not doing it. They're separate days. But
But everyone's like, maybe AP, but I doubt it. We'll
maybe. We'll see.
If it's
We'll
AP,
see.
it's gonna be like the Martin Garrix AP.
With Alesso.
That was horrible. That was another rebel sardine can't move moment.
Good for resale. I knew people who sold their ticket and they're regretting that moment because it's like you see, okay, for a lot of people, Martin Garrix and Alesso on the same lineup, especially doing a back-to-back world debut.
I saw it in Tomorrowland.
World debut too, which was like pretty good for Toronto. You know what's interesting is that we have that new area opening right next to Downsview for like that pop-up where Coldplay's playing. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oasis is playing there too.
I'm wondering how. Oh yeah.
We're getting a new venue too, right? A giant, massive one.
It's like I want to call it like an inflatable castle because I don't know how they're doing it because it's just gonna pop up and then be deconstructed.
What's the capacity?
I think it's huge,
Like
but it's only like it's not going to be there forever.
Oh,
Like
really?
they're
That's
taking
why I'm
it,
calling
taking it down.
inflatable
Yeah,
castle.
they're taking it down after a year or two or
Mhm.
something. Yeah. So I was thinking that's where they're going to do Veld, but they're not.
I don't think
No,
we need
they're not.
another huge venue.
This is just like a temporary thing, though. Yeah.
But I'm curious how that plays into Veld is what I'm worried. Like if anyone's gonna use anything around it, I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think they should be dropping the full lineup within like January. I think
Yeah, by end of January, I think. Yeah.
usually they do, so that's not bad. Next one, this is I think only I know anything about this one. Is Slander has announced their festival, Starbase Festival. They actually did this during COVID, but then they announced it before COVID and it got canceled because of COVID. So now they're bringing it back.
How do they have a full festival?
That's what I was going to
How
ask.
they doing the full festival? It's their festival.
And I think when you get to a certain point in your career, you're basically hosting your own party.
Kind of sounds like a Millennium. Isn't it
Yeah,
Millennium?
yeah,
Like
it's
really
what it is.
That's
huge?
essentially what it is.
Look at I know so much stuff about stuff.
So much stuff.
It's essentially the same thing. It's their curated. It's like their festival, but they're gonna play like 3 sets.
Yeah.
But to be honest, there's a lot of techno in there.
Actually,
Bet you didn't know that.
Actually,
Yeah, because they have a techno alias.
They
play
like
Slander
what kind
After
of
Dark.
techno?
it's like
something like
business
that.
techno.
Business techno?
Drum code techno. I call it business techno. You wear a suit, you're all proper, but it's business techno.
I don't love that.
Yeah, but that's what they play. It's very generic, but like it's good because actually they have like Charles D and those people on the Pleasure Craft on the lineup, which is like techno. So they have a lot of drum code artists too, which is kind of so it's a mix of melodic and techno. So it's not bad. It's in Tahoe, Lake Tahoe. So it's in like
in
California.
the States?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the States. But
Tahoe.
yeah,
Cool.
if you're a melodic bass fan, you like Slander. Slander's coming here. Definitely check it out if you want. Another one that's been popping up a lot recently is all these Southeast Asia festivals.
Yeah.
Like the market's crazy right now there.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's cheap to run events there too.
well, I think it's also government funded, so they're getting a lot of government kickback.
Mm.
So some big ones like when we say like I guess Thailand right now is the big focus because
Mhm.
EDC Thailand's happening,
I would
In
love to go to Thailand for a festival.
right?
Or
It's-
just Thailand in general, but
Yeah, so like EDC Thailand is probably the next big like Insomniac's doing there, but there's all these other ones like Unconscious. Trance is actually alive there.
yes. I know somebody that went this year.
Probably the same
Recently.
person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
So I actually think a lot of people in Australia, because I used to live in Australia, they listen to trance music. They're huge in trance.
They're all trance and
They're
hard
all
style.
like they actually trance and hardstyle. That's very true. So for them to fly to Thailand for these sorts of like events, I think that's the
they get a
reason.
lot. They get a lot.
Yeah,
of people,
yeah.
It's
Hardstyle. I feel like that has
Hardstyle, like
gained
Hard-
popularity.
Essentially in Southeast Asia.
Do you remember Showtech?
Yeah, Showtech legends. The legends Showtech.
Quiet.
But essentially, like Australia, it's all trance and hardstyle.
If they,
So I say I want to move to Europe, but I actually should move to Australia. It's just Canada, but everything can kill you.
Yeah,
That's how you look at it.
pretty much.
Not-
It is.
that's a good comparison. Actually.
They're upside down.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot. Ultra Korea, Ultra Japan. Like right now, Southeast Asia is the hotspot. If you're even considering it, I would honestly like report back.
It's so much more feasible for Australians to go to Asia compared to Canadians.
You see a lot of Australians at EDC though. I saw a lot of Australians. I don't know why, but now
they just like to travel. They're crazy.
They do.
They're
They love to
crazy.
travel.
They
What's
like
their
to travel.
vacation limit? Is it better than Europe?
Honestly, man, I don't know. Like
When you talk to Australians, they're like, "Oh, I just wanna."
I want to party with
wanna-
Australians.
all they want to do is drink and party. Like that's it.
They don't want to be in Australia for the winter time. Their winter time,
And
I
their
guess.
winter time is like 2 degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
We're freezing right now. It's like I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Have you seen their spiders though?
I have. I had to take. That's a separate story.
But yeah, honestly, I'm excited to see what other stuff keep popping up. There's a lot of homegrown ones too, like S2O. There's some more, I want to not say religious, but like more like spiritual festivals there, like song, like S2O has their own branches of stuff. They do a lot of stuff with like Chinese New Year. So I'm curious to see. I don't know. One of us needs to attend a festival. I know Yikern's there right now in Malaysia visiting home, and he went to Hana Liang in one of their clubs, and he said it was popping.
Mhm.
Like it was so busy. So it's nice to see. What's the next one? Netflix. We got a Netflix documentary coming out on Avicii.
That's coming out on the 31st. I know, Claudia, you're excited for this.
I'm so excited for it. I watched. There's another documentary on Netflix regarding Avicii, and I know I bawled my eyes out for that one, but I'm very, very excited. And I know we were talking earlier, like, how did they get this new sort of footage and stuff? I don't think the footage has been released prior to this, so I'm very, very, very excited.
They probably paid a pretty penny for it.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
There's.
Yeah.
I
For
watched
sure.
the trailer just came out like 4 days ago, and
Yeah.
I watched it. I'm like, where is all this footage coming from?
It was the one where like he's like, oh well, Levels really just like brought me back and like was able to. Oh my god, Levels gave me the opportunity to actually get like an account, like a manager and stuff. So it's gonna be good.
Classic.
It's gonna be good.
But it's called I Am Tim.
Mhm.
So I'm curious. As I said, it's releasing December 31st.
31st, yeah.
So it might already be up by the time this episode is, but definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It as I said, for those of you who don't know, Avicii was a pioneer for, I guess, the music industry. Not for me. I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't know about for you, Cathrine.
Avicii was my first rave, I think.
Oh, really?
At the
Oh, so
Sky
you went
Dome.
to that one
Yeah.
because we had our Prob had. Was it Prob who had Guilt?
Problem, yeah.
Yeah,
At the Sky Dome.
Nice.
Was it the Sky Dome back then?
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah.
Wasn't that where Swedish House Mafia was too? One last tour.
Recently?
No, not recently. They did
Oh.
Scotiabank recently.
Oh, right.
That was in Scotiabank. I think it was Rogers Center as well.
No, the recent one that happened in
Not the
like,
recent one, like the one.
I
from,
think
like,
so. Probably. But
Ages
for me, Avicii, I was already in the underground at that point, so I was just like whatever. Like Swedish House Mafia meant nothing. I was already listening to trance, and I was already listening to trance.
The way you just said that's okay.
I was the kid listening to like that old school dubstep. And
I'm
like,
so
and,
sorry.
like-
You're so hipster.
You're too cool for me.
But I was
Cool
listening
for
to
us,
trance.
whatever.
I'm an old trance head too, so I was still in the old trance days. But yeah, it's for me. I'm excited to see what they do with the footage and where they got it, and then question where they got it from, and if it's AI. That's another thing.
It's not going to be AI. Come on.
Some segments.
No.
Have you
Oh,
seen
you have
some of
no
the
idea. AI is crazy nowadays.
I know. I
Yeah.
have seen it.
Have you seen that meme with the guy? You know, when he's walking with this girl and he's turning. And
Yeah.
looking?
That one.
They've
made,
turned
they
it.
Made, I
They
know,
made it into like a
whole-
fight.
I know. I saw
How
that.
do you do that? I don't know. It's crazy. AI is the future, though.
Just throwing that in there.
The next one, honestly, something that's been heartwarming throughout the year is Michael Bibby's return
Recovery, yeah.
after having cancer last year, playing Coachella earlier this year, and slowly getting back into the scene. His second home is Miami.
Mhm.
He considered it like his home too for events, and he did the block party with Space Miami, which was like pretty sick.
Yeah, he did a block party, but then he also came back to Space itself.
Yeah.
and like did a whole set, and then he went into the crowd. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of him being in the crowd, where someone, I can't remember who was playing, it might have been like Pasa or someone, but he was in the crowd and he was just jamming with people and he was just living his best life. It was so good.
Nice.
So good, so nice to see.
Yeah, so hopefully full swing next year for him, but
Yeah.
it's exciting to see. Another one is Dolla, Madison Square Garden.
Daddy Dolla.
He's like 1 year behind Summit, with Summit doing MSG this year, and now Dolla is getting it. Same thing happened with us too this year, where it's like what John Summit does Budweiser.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
swapped.
And then they swapped.
Apparently he told John Summit told Dom Dolla, he's like, yo, the girls are so hot here. Come. And then he came.
Well, he did the Canadian tuxedo, which was pretty
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
And everyone came out.
We tried to do that, right? Like we
did.
yeah, we
were-
did.
We
Yeah.
didn't try. We succeeded.
We succeeded. Yeah, we did.
I remember how many people were like, is he going to do a second show? He's going to do a second show. And it ended up not happening.
Yeah.
But that first show sold out so quick too.
Yeah.
It was so
It was
good.
so
It was
much
so good.
fun.
He was amazing. The vibes and the crowd were amazing. Like everybody was just really.
He did just
really-
randomly bring on what's her name?
Oh yeah, for a hug.
Oh, yeah. I was
Furtado.
like, everyone's like,
What's her name?
Nelly
Nelly
Furtado.
Furtado, and she just came on for like 2 seconds, and we thought she's gonna sing or something.
yeah,
and
that's
then
what
she
everyone thought.
just disappeared.
But one of the best things that happened in Toronto this year is the emergence of Budweiser being an EDM venue.
Yes.
Like John Summit's production was good, Don Dolla's production was
Yep.
good. That was
Yep.
really nice to see. Like the lasers, I
Wasn't
did.
Rufus there?
Yeah, so that's the reason I was worried about John Summit, is because like Rufus Du Sol last year was absolute rubbish in terms of like sound and everything. I mean, I was at the lawn. I don't know if that makes a
Dude, it
difference.
was sold
Was
out
this
year for-
after his Woodbine Park show?
after Rufus's,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rufus.
So there was a
Woodbine
Woodbine, and then
It
there
was
was
Woodbine, and then next year it was at Budweiser, and I went to the Budweiser stage, and I did the lawn seats, and it was just, the sound was horrible. Like you couldn't hear anything, so that's why I was worried about John Summit. But John Summit actually crushed it.
Mhm.
Crushed
Yeah,
it.
did you go? Which days did you go? Did you do for John Summit? Did you do both days or what?
I just did the first day.
Okay. I was
I'm
thinking about
s-
going the Sunday, but I didn't.
Yeah, I
didn't
wanted to go the
that.
second day too, because
I'm
then
sad I
he did
didn't
a
go.
after party at Coda.
Oh yeah,
John
Yeah.
Summit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Dom Dolla didn't.
No, Dallas did not.
I wish I could have gone.
So that kind of brings me to a question. What do you guys think is the holy grail of venues for an artist? Is it like a Tomorrowland set, or is it MSG? Is it your own running your own festival, or what do you think that the holy grail is for an artist?
So I'll start. I think it's different for every artist because it's also expectation.
Yeah.
Right? Like a hard techno. I don't know if Sarah Landry will ever sell at MSG. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But playing like a
But
venue
like that's
that
what
you-
I mean. That's like a holy grail, because it's like, oh, you never think you're gonna play there, but you ended up hosting a show there.
I think for a lot of artists, it's more like it's like a list.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's like playing like as we said, Red Rocks. Playing Red Rocks would be like amazing for anyone, especially if you sell at Red Rocks. They make you a cake, get your name on the wall, all this stuff. Have you ever seen any of that? It's actually kind of cool.
I did not know that.
I
That's
did
very
not know that either.
interesting.
I
I
love
love a good cake.
But apparently on the like one of the walls, you have all your artists' names who've played there, and then they're like, "Oh, you sold out Red Rocks," which is like
Oh, nice.
selling out Red Rocks. That's huge. Like selling out MSG, that'd be huge, right? But it's also a little bit like for me personally, I'm like my personal favorite venue in North America is like Radius. Everyone talks about Mirage, but I like Radius. But like I don't know if that's like on the top list of someone to play
Yeah.
unless they're like a Chicago local.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we talked about Sphere earlier, but
Yeah.
what are the realistic expectations? Someone playing Sphere probably bankrupt a lot of artists if they wanted to play Sphere.
Yeah. It becomes your caliber, like how much, how big you become.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I think it also depends on what level you are in your career. If you're just starting out, maybe your holy grail is X venue, and then when you get there and you get bigger and bigger, your holy grail would kind of change and grow.
Like a Tiesto trance set return at Red Rocks, that'd be like a holy grail for me.
Cash and
I'd be
Sonny
like,
are
fly.
there. They're
We
buying
would
first
fly.
class tickets.
There's a meme of Ron Swampton running through the wood where Tiesto playing trance. Everyone who's our age would be like running down the field. That's us.
They always do this thing on April Fools when they do Tiesto and Armin classic set.
Did you hear this year?
Yeah, every year.
We talked about it earlier this year. There was that viral thing about Armin and Tiesto doing a back-to-back because of some alias that was like from the 2000s.
I
that was
actually
on the
heard
line.
about this. Yeah.
I think we mentioned it on one of our earlier episodes, but Armin nipped it on the butt saying that no, but he had a mistweet too, like with like an emoji face that he used wrong, which sent everyone like going
Bless
like
his
crazy.
soul.
That's
Bless his soul.
Oh, man,
No, he
that's
used
so
he like used that
like
winky
dad
face
thing to do.
emoji on like a Discord,
Yeah, that's
and,
a bad thing.
and then that went viral. And then after he's like, "I apologize, we are not doing a back to back."
Whoopsies.
Alibi or whatever, alibi.
Alibi.
I don't know. I think I said it wrong last time too.
Yeah.
But anything else on the venues you guys think? Anything less?
I don't know. I think that playing like festivals like Tomorrowland is probably huge for these people. I can't, like, I'm not a DJ, I don't know, but like I think just based on like the interviews that I've seen with like Dolla or like Sarah Landry too, like they're just so happy to be there. And I think playing like a big festival like that is just incredible to them.
It depends on like playing main stage. Like we talk about Sarah Landry.
Main stage, or even just like a lesser
Being there.
Yeah, just being there. Like we went to see, I don't know if you went to see John Summit at Crystal Garden.
I was there. Yeah.
He played his 30th birthday there, and he
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
like, I'm so happy to be here. And it's like a side stage.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah. The sound there was
incredible. Yeah,
incredible.
Christine.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And see the
You're
cage.
in for a
cage.
treat.
Yeah.
Penny's gonna be on one side of the cage. I'm gonna be on the other side. Of the
Make
cage.
sure you go pee beforehand.
Yes.
And we'll be like pointing to each other, and be like,
Yeah.
Make sure you go pee beforehand because there's no walk.
Yeah.
When you
There's no
guys say the
washrooms.
cage, in my mind, I think of like a wrestling cage. Anyways.
So one of the last topics I want to talk about, this one. It's a little bit trans influenced too. It's been something we've talked about with the music industry too, how there's been a lot of copyright stuff. So one of the songs out there was released by a trans artist, Will Atkinson. He was originally promoted it. And then 2 weeks later, Dimitri Vegas and Steve Aoki had one they debuted at Tomorrowland that sounded pretty much identical. We're going to play it in a bit, both of them, and we'll let you guys decide. Essentially, Will Atkinson, smaller trans artist, very well known in the trans community, but definitely not as big as Steve Aoki or Dimitri Vegas. When he went to go release it, apparently last minute, they offered more money to the original artist, and then they went with that. It's funny, I was having a conversation with a friend. I had the song even saved to my playlist when he released it, and then it was taken down like a couple hours later, and then he released a statement saying, I will talk about this at another time. And then all of a sudden I see this other version come up on the same time. I listen to it. I'm like, isn't this the same thing? Lo and behold, 2 months later, Will Atkinson finally released a statement and kind of like doing that investigative work, saying how he released the song, had clips of when they debuted it. They even used the same slogan, which is, this is very demure type of thing. And essentially, it's pretty much the big guys hustling the little guys. And I don't know how, it's probably very common in the industry, especially with ghost producing.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
But there's been a lot of support behind Will Atkinson behind this, where everyone's commenting on Steve Aoki and their video and saying like, isn't this Will Atkinson's remake? I thought also it was like, when it was taken down and re-released, I thought it was Will Atkinson just as the ghost producer, and his name wasn't supposed to be on it, but that ended up not being the same. So I guess we'll play the first version is the Dimitri Vegas one.
If you're on YouTube, we might cut this out on YouTube, but if you're on Spotify, you'll be able to hear it. It's pretty good.
The bounce. Okay, we pause it. Listen. So that's how the lyrics go into that, and then it goes back into the beat. And then we'll play the Will Atkinson version.
It's a little bit different.
A little bit
Yeah.
different, but it's essentially stealing the same
slightly
thing.
different.
You have to listen to the original one. The original one's like way slower. So this is all adding the same beat elements to it. But yes, listen to the Sue songs and let us
Interesting.
know in the comments what you think. But I think it's pretty scummy of them to do that. And Will Atkins had a lot of support from other mid-tier DJs saying, yeah, it's a direct copy. Like they literally just took the
Interesting.
idea and just like modified it. I don't know any other examples in the industry, but I'm pretty sure a lot of we were talking about earlier of like, I'm like, how is this a collab? Did you even do anything with this? Like we
Yeah.
mentioned, I know Armin's a good producer, but I'm like, why did you make this? Why did you make this? I joke about the Griffin Armin song. I'm like, how much did Griffin
Yeah.
actually do on this? I'm like, it sounds more Armin than it does Griffin. But apparently they knocked out in one studio session. But I could be in the studio too and sit back and just
And just be
nod-
there, just be present.
just nod politely and be like that. And like sometimes you look at it like I'm gonna mention Slander here, where I'm like, how is everything a collab, guys? How is everything a collab?
Every single thing.
I'm like, but once again, it is. I sometimes look at it. This is a bit different because it's literally the same premise of the song in the remix.
Mhm.
And for them to pull the song, like there was some like fuckery going around with that.
Yeah.
For him not being able to release the song because they offered more money,
Yeah.
and then.
Yeah, that's a little bananas.
But yeah, definitely shame on them. Even though Dimitri Vegas released a good hard techno set this year, still shame on him.
Benny's favorite.
Yeah. Hope he comes back this year.
But yeah, let us know in the comments. Listen to 2 songs. We'll have the links, and let us know in the comments what you think, because I think it happens more in the industry than we talk about.
Agreed.
100%.
So I guess to round out the episode,
Mhm.
what are you guys looking forward to in 2025? How was your year too? If you guys want to,
It went by way too quickly.
doesn't that happen every year though? other than COVID, other than the COVID year, every year happened. It's like I feel every year is too quick. A lot of stuff happens.
Do you feel like every year you discover a new genre of music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to you this year.
100%. If you had asked me a year or 2 years ago, techno, I'd be like, heck no, not a chance. But here I am today.
You just learn to appreciate it more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I still love trance and I still go back to trance and that's still my main thing, but I appreciate techno. Well, there's some techno that I still think is just so boring. It's the same beat over and over.
That's
and
more
over.
like house.
That's how I feel about house. Too. That's how I feel about house. I'm just like, I can't do it.
But
Remember
I've
Barry can't swim?
I can do tech house, which has the techno aspect of house in it, but I
Or
can't.
even like hard techno. I would have never imagined
Okay.
getting into that, the like darker stuff.
The deep, dark, dirty.
Yep.
Love that for you.
It will come up eventually, you know? Like even like with bass, like I used to like not really like bass at all, but like it's kind of grown on me and I can, I guess, tolerate it.
Tolerate.
Excision changed them.
Yeah.
One thing I learned this year, trance is dead.
I could have told you
Trance
that.
is melodic techno.
I could have told you. It turned into melodic techno, as
Yeah.
Trance is melodic
Cathrine
techno.
says.
But the trance we like is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Not at Luminosity. That's something I'm looking forward to.
So we're moving to
in
Europe then.
2025. Yeah.
It's 2025, we're moving to Europe?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you
Or
there.
I'm going to Australia.
We'll be neighbors. Yeah, you're going to Australia.
I'm going to Australia. I haven't made up my mind yet. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the details later. But honestly, I just like where the Toronto scene's gone this year. I think we've gotten a lot more events, for sure.
I think next year, I think there's going to be a more focus in local artists, if I'm being honest, I think. Because it's becoming increasingly more expensive to
Yeah.
get international DJs in Toronto.
Yeah.
Especially with our currency now.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Oh, our currency's dog
yeah, I
shit.
think next year
Absolutely.
is going to be
And the tariffs coming.
a big local DJ push.
And that's
Which
amazing.
is good. Which
Yeah.
is good. Which
Yeah.
is good. Yeah.
What about genres? What do you think?
Uh,
You know what I mean? You know what
I think
me and you
house.
want.
I think house.
I think hard bounce is coming.
That's what it means. Yo, bounce 2025. That's
Yeah,
all we keep
yeah.
saying. Just want bounce.
Yeah, you guys have no idea.
It's all over
You guys
here.
have no idea.
Once you go to one of these shows, you're gonna be like, wow.
even know.
You don't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And face to face,
Face to face.
face to face, hard bounce. Yeah, that's
So
gonna be next
funny.
year.
shout out our local promoters. I know some of them out there are trying, so they're
Yes.
bringing a couple artists. But yes, for us, I know Benny's converted me to the bounce, so
Yeah.
that's been
The
the
bounce.
bounce here.
The faster the BPM is, that's where I live.
With a hammer.
Yeah, with the hammer.
In the cage.
Which we need new
apparently.
hammers. We need new hammer now.
We actually broke the hammer.
Yeah,
We
you
broke the hammer.
I know. I
Hammer.
heard.
Yeah.
I heard you guys broke the hammer.
We took it to
That's
what was
so
it?
sad.
I Hate Models, and it broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
You guys have anything else to add before we round out the episode?
No.
Nope.
No.
Well-
Can't wait to see you guys at the events.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, give us a like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to go above and beyond, we do have a PayPal link in the description. We are a audience-funded podcast. So, yeah. We also have a Zound discount at with 10%. So that'll be in the description. We also have an affiliate with Here's. I almost said the wrong one. I almost said the wrong one. If you have 5 friends and you do a group buy, it's actually 25% off. And we got a couple pairs, and we actually do enjoy it. Hearing damage is very serious because once you lose it, you can't get it back. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. And
Bye.
thanks for having me, guys.
Oh,
Thanks for
pleasure to
coming
have
on.
you
Thanks for
on.
coming.